Picture this. You're leading the stage. 8 laps to go. Your spotter's voice is calm. Your tires are perfect. Then, static. A yellow light flashes on your dash before you even see the wreck. And just like that, it's over. Not paused. Not restarted in 5 laps. Over. No shootout. No chance to defend it. Gone. That is not a hypothetical anymore. That is the reality every single driver has to race with starting today, because 3 days ago, NASCAR quietly rewrote one of the most important rules in the sport, and almost nobody outside the garage saw it coming. There are 2 stories colliding on the same weekend right now. The first is a rule change that is already live. The second is the reaction to it, and it is already splitting the garage. Some of the biggest names in this sport are already picking sides, and one of them didn't even use words to do it. Before we go further, here's something worth mentioning. This channel, NASCAR Voltage, is closing in on 500 subscribers, and every single one of you watching right now is part of getting us there. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, this is the moment. A quick like and a comment helps this channel more than you'd think, and your support genuinely matters in helping us keep bringing you breakdowns like this one. Now let's get into exactly what changed. Starting with the Iowa Corn 350, if a natural caution falls inside the final 10 laps of Stage 1 or Stage 2, that caution immediately ends the stage. There is no more racing back to green for a few laps just to throw another scheduled yellow minutes later. NASCAR didn't just tweak a rule. They rewired the final 10 laps of every stage, starting this weekend. The reasoning traces directly back to the July 26 Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis, where fans were furious about long, back-to-back caution periods eating into green flag racing. NASCAR CEO Steve O'Donnell addressed it directly in the announcement video, saying, "Long periods of caution laps and not enough green flag racing, we heard you." That single sentence is the entire justification for a rule that could now decide who wins and loses at Iowa before the race even finishes. Here's why this isn't a small tweak. If you're running second with 8 laps left and a caution flies, you just bank stage points for doing nothing. But the driver who was about to make the pass of his life gets nothing. Is that fair, or is that just racing? Nobody has an answer yet, and that's exactly the problem NASCAR has created. There's a theory already circulating that the final 10 laps of every stage might now be the most dangerous laps in NASCAR, simply because drivers know the clock can freeze the result at any second. There's also a ripple effect nobody talked about at first. If a stage ends early, the next stage doesn't automatically shrink. It can effectively run longer, scrambling fuel windows and pit strategy that nobody had time to prepare for. NASCAR didn't just change a rule 3 days before Iowa. They changed the psychology of the final 10 laps, and every driver on that grid has to solve it live, on national television, with a playoff spot on the line. This isn't landing in some throwaway spring race either. Iowa sits in the final stretch of the regular season, where stage points are worth more than ever for drivers fighting to lock in a playoff position. Every stage point matters more. Every pit call matters more. Every mistake matters more. And now there's a brand new variable that has never been tested under this kind of pressure before. So who has already picked a side? Let's go through it name by name, because the reactions themselves are becoming as big a story as the rule. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is arguably the most respected voice backing this change. Speaking on the Dirty Mo Overdrive podcast, he said this is something the whole industry has wanted for years. Fans have asked for a change. I've never really known why they wouldn't make a change, but we're finally gonna do it. When Earnhardt Jr. backs a change like this, it stops being a fan complaint and starts looking like a verdict. Kyle Larson pulled 0 punches about the old system, mocking the awkward one-lap shootouts that used to follow a late caution. He put it bluntly, it's just like, roll on with it. Larson's own spin with 6 laps left in Stage 1 at the Brickyard is literally the incident that triggered this entire rule change, which makes his reaction carry even more weight. Daniel Suarez also backed the change, saying it allows races to develop more naturally instead of being shaped artificially by caution timing. Brad Keselowski reacted almost instantly, and by most reporting, he summed up the entire situation in just a few words, "Everyone like that." It's the shortest reaction of the day, but it's coming from a driver who has lived through Iowa's caution chaos before. During the 2025 race at Iowa, there were 13 cautions between laps 181 and 282 alone. Then there's the moment that says the most without saying anything at all. Denny Hamlin didn't write a single word. He posted a reaction GIF, and that's it. When the most outspoken driver in the garage, a driver who never holds back when a rule touches strategy or race length, has literally nothing to say, is that support? Or is that a driver waiting to see how badly this can backfire on him first? Mark Martin landed on the wild card side, publicly thanking O'Donnell and NASCAR for the change, giving it an old guard stamp of approval. As for names like Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick, there are no confirmed statements from them yet beyond what's already been said. We won't really know how the rest of the garage feels until the moment the first caution actually flies inside the 10-lap window. Not everyone is convinced this is a good idea, and that's where the real controversy lives. A counterargument circulating among motorsports analysts asks what happens if a caution, even one that looks convenient, falls right as a leader is trying to save fuel with 10 laps to go, especially in a playoff race. One widely shared critique bluntly called this a change nobody asked for, warning that it could hand a random late yellow more control over the finish than the actual racing does. So is this the fix everyone's been begging for, or did NASCAR just hand the final 10 laps of every stage a hair trigger? That question is not resolved, and it isn't going to be resolved until cars are actually on track. That's exactly why Iowa isn't just a race this weekend. It's a live experiment. NASCAR itself has signaled this could evolve depending on how it plays out on track. Here's what to watch for once the green flag drops. Does the first caution inside the 10-lap window feel fair, or does it feel like someone got robbed? Do drivers start racing more aggressively the closer they get to the final laps of that first stage? Does a suspiciously convenient caution show up right when a leader happens to need one? And does Hamlin finally say something once this rule actually affects the number 11 car directly? Right now, everything you just heard is a prediction. Earnhardt Jr. thinks it's overdue. Keselowski thinks everyone's happy. Hamlin isn't saying a word. And in a few hours, the green flag drops at Iowa, and all of that turns into something nobody can take back. So here's the real question. When that first caution flies with 9 laps left in a stage, and it decides who gets the points and who doesn't, are you going to call that a fix? Or are you going to call it the most controversial 10 laps in NASCAR this season? Drop your answer in the comments, because every single one is going to be read. If this channel is closing in on 500 subscribers, it's because of viewers exactly like you sticking around for breakdowns like this one. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, drop a like, leave a comment with where you stand on the 10-lap rule, and share this with another NASCAR fan who needs to see it before the green flag drops. Your support genuinely shapes what this channel can bring you next. If you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next.